How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, we have just seen the Lions beat First Nations and Pacifica in a relatively unconvincing win, but otherwise, I mean, it was pretty good. There's a couple talking points which I wanted to go through, but I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. And as always, please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's get into it. So, first of all, I want to start with Darcy Graham. It was so unfortunate for him. I do believe he ended up getting a try before he was taken off, and you could see the disappointment in his face the moment he sat down. And what a good friend Finn Russell is, coming to kind of console him. But what a way to what a way to finish your game. 16 minutes in, you get a try, you're starting brilliantly, and honestly, I'm instead of saying First Nations and Pacific, I'm just going to call him FMB. FMP is going to be so much easier. But yeah, I do think FMP actually got off easy by having Darcy Graham injured. They got off easy. He was looking to have one of those games today. He was on it. He was ready, and it was so disappointing to see him come off. So I do feel FMP actually got very lucky in having Darcy Graham getting taken off. But otherwise, like I say, it was a relatively unconvincing performance, especially at the end. In Britain, we did have a lot of Lions fans in the stadium with their backsides clenched because it was getting tight. Rob Leota managed to get himself a try in the 70th minute, just pure powerhouse work, working those phases, pushing on the 20, pushing in the 22, pushing on that try line, and ultimately getting rewarded for it. So I always call him Ray Liotta. I don't know why. Ray Liotta, I think he's the guy from like Goodfellas or something. But yeah, Rob Leota with a good try on the 70th minute, putting a lot of pressure on the Lions. Now, like I say, this game was not without its mistakes. Yes, it's not a full squad. It's not a full squad Lions team. It's to be expected. A lot of these players were just getting their reps in, getting time on the field, and getting some of their caps. I think this was Gregor Brown. Gregor, let me check. Yeah, Gregor Brown coming in. That was lovely. We got to see a bit of Thomas Clarkson as well. So yeah, we had some good performances. I feel Henry Pollock, he put in a relatively good performance. He managed to I think it was a late turnover that he managed to get. You know, all throughout, I would say his decision making was actually pretty good. It wasn't one of the stand up performances that we have become so accustomed to seeing from Pollock, but otherwise pretty good performance. And yeah, there was a lot to look at here. There was a lot to give Andy Farrell a bit of a headache um, in terms of selection, but this wasn't a convincing win in the least. FNP really put the pressure on, and they the Lions really struggled, really struggled. Um, what can I say? That statistically, the Lions actually did pretty well. 121 carries, 10 line breaks, 19 turnovers lost, which is not good. 55% possession, 66% territory, 127 tackles. You know, but honestly, I think this was more a case of individual performances that I was most happy with. I think Jamie Osborne, who I wasn't entirely convinced at 13 to start for the Lions, I thought he put in a brilliant game. Two tries, four line breaks, putting in a very good performance. Blair Kinghorn, as always, putting in a relatively good performance as well, 15 carries. Duhan van der Merwe, I feel he put in a slightly better performance, you know, getting in his reps, five defenders beaten as well. But I do still feel he is very risky, and he's very much a flight risk at times. Ben White had a pretty solid game. Finn Smith's kicking, I felt, was very here and there, especially his conversions. Uh, very sloppy, very sloppy. I think the Lions could have had a lot more points on the board, but again, very sloppy. I mean, the conversion opportunities weren't exactly the easiest, but when you're playing at this level, these are the kind of moments that you need to be making use of. These are really the moments that you need to be making use of to ensure that your team gets that win. But yeah, it's another win under the belt for the Lions. Going to be preparing for the next game. Hopefully, we will end up seeing a couple players. I'm really hoping that Darcy Graham isn't injured that badly. As yes, he was called in as kind of like a replacement, as like replacement cover, and ultimately he's actually the one that ended up getting injured. But I, if he had to have that game today, I could definitely see him competing for that 14 spot with the likes of Mac Hansen and the likes of Tommy Freeman. I would have loved, absolutely loved to see that. I am such a big fan of, I'm such a big fan of Darcy Graham. But again, all round, pretty good performance. A little bit shaky at times, but again, we got to take in consideration this is not a full Lion squad. This is very much a Lion squad that's just been popped here, then everywhere. We got to see Gregor Brown come on as well. I'm sure today made him a very very happy man, and plus they managed to get the win. But ultimately, look, they were tested. The Australia test is going to be even harder. A lot of players put themselves on the map for Andy Farrell to see. And I think that's kind of what this game was there for, right? It was there to showcase talent, showcase skill, and showcase want, that desire, which I think a lot of players have done today. So Andy Farrell is going to definitely have a very difficult situation on his hands in terms of picking the next game. I do feel that, as always, Jack Morgan will always bring something to the squad. And he needs to be part of the squad. Whether it's on the bench, he needs to be part of the squad. He is that kind of player that you want because he's going to get the job done. And I think he needs to be part of the traveling squad. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Were you convinced with this performance? But there's a lot of factors to take in consideration for this game. It wasn't a full test as such. I feel that this was very much a case on highlighting each individual player, and they managed to get a win out of it as well, which is definitely a bonus. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Please like, subscribe. As always, it really does help the channel grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.